Well, let's get an update. Our correspondent Chris Ocamringa joins us live from Kinshasa. Chris, good afternoon and thanks for joining us at this hour. We've heard reports of opposition candidates in the Democratic Republic of Congo's presidential election planning to march today despite authorities banning the protest. What's happening where you are, and did people actually heed to that call to protest?
Yes, that's right. Some opposition supporters turned up in Kinshasa to march around the city following the pronouncement by opposition leaders that the elections were a sham. And the police did not allow them to march. There was a very heavy deployment. Some of these young men who were gathered outside the headquarters of one of the political leaders started throwing stones at the police officers, and the police retaliated by firing tear gas and dispersed them, and some of them were injured. One of the leading opposition candidates condemned the response by the police, said they used a lot of force which was unproportional to the threat that was posed by these young men. He also showed us a live bullet that he said was fired at these people who gathered outside the headquarters. So the opposition leaders, the 5 opposition leaders who called for this protest, were not allowed to march around the city to denounce the election that happened last week.
Chris, reports of voters discovering their names missing from the electoral roll have also surfaced, perhaps adding to the layer of complexity at an already tumultuous election. At this point, how fair would you say that these elections have been?
Well, so according to the electoral observers, there were a lot of irregularities, and they have called on the Electoral Commission to be more transparent as vote counting continues. Right now, the Electoral Commission has released results from the Congolese diaspora and a number of provinces across the city, across the country, which show that President Felix Tshisekedi has a comfortable lead of about 78%. His closest challenger, Moise Katumbi, comes second with about 14%, and Martin Fayulu, an opposition leader, is third with 4%. And these opposition members have said the vote was marred by so many irregularities. There was an extension of the voting that was supposed to only last 1 day, but it went on for about 4 days, and they're saying that is totally wrong. It goes against the Constitution and the electoral law, and they're going to challenge it in court. And that is why they're saying that the outcome, the results, the provisional results that are being released by the Electoral Commission do not reflect the will of the people. And that's why they want the elections to be cancelled and a rerun to be held by another electoral commission, something that is very difficult to be done in the DRC. The government has said that there were some irregularities, but by and large the vote was credible, and they're waiting now for the final full results of the provisional results to be released on the 31st of December.
Chris, just as we wrap up, bringing peace and security to the fore, are there fears of violence escalating as we speak? What's the situation looking like on that end?
Well, the security situation has been very bad, especially in eastern DRC. We heard that 3 days ago there was some fighting between the M23 rebels and the Congolese government forces. Now the M23 rebels have captured swathes of territory in North Kivu, in the east of the DRC, and they, have said that they're not willing to have any talks with the government. They're going to form their own government over there. So there is a lot of tension. Many people in this election have been voting, looking for a leader who's going to unite this country and keep them together, because there's a threat that this country could be divided because of that conflict over there in the eastern part of the country. And so we're waiting to see. The security officials have deployed around the country, especially in the southeast in Lubumbashi, where some political leaders have been calling on people to take to the streets to denounce the outcome of the election. And so there's been a heavy deployment in Lubumbashi, the second largest city of the DRC. Deployment has also been ongoing in Goma in the east, where this conflict has been raging for more than 2 years now, the M23 conflict. And so it's there's a lot of tension in the DRC, and people are waiting for this election to go on to see how the new leader is going to unite this country and end the insecurity in eastern DRC.